Hello, this is Rick. I'm going to be presenting proof that Queens Family Court is not a court. It is a court, but it's used for adolescents, children, people under the age of 16 in criminal matters and cases of abuse. But the actual child support proceedings in there, they're actually administrative hearings inside hearing rooms to give you the impression that you're in a court. So you think that you have to, call the support magistrate, judge, and your honor, and the orders are court orders when they're not. I'll show you. First, let me show you this. This is from the New York Department of the State Division of Corporations. Enter the information. So right here, Queens Family Court Association is a not-for-profit corporation. March 10th, 1972, jurisdiction New York. It's a domestic not-for-profit corporation. You see it right there, right? Family Court Association of Queens County. So right there, I didn't know that courts were not-for-profits. All right. This is a petition modification of support. Now this is like one of their standard forms, and it says Family Court, State of New York, in a matter of a support proceeding. Okay, that's where they get you. So they trick you with this family court nonsense. This is fake, and then they have this CSMS, which is I think it's Child Support Management Systems, and they give you that number. Now, I'm going to show you what a real court order looks like. All right, this is from the Supreme Court. All right, notice how this is from I believe the Supreme Court, Court of Appeals, no, Appellate Division. I'm sorry. And here, you see it's decision, order. Writing. And at the end, enter. Now, what do we see there? Clerk of the court. Now, in my earlier videos, I say every court order under U.S. Code 28 U.S.C. 1691 is every writ. Now, this is a writ. These are all writs. Okay? Any writ from a United States courts must be under a signature of a clerk. And, this obviously ain't going to have the stamp because, it's a copy. But this is, now you look at a law journal, this will be in a law journal. Now look here. This is an order of dismissal. This is another piece of comedy. All right. Now I filed an objection. This woman intercepted it, Sudeep Kaur, who's again she's a non-judicial court employee. She's an actress. She's playing a role, and she intercepted my motion and dismissed it herself, which she's not allowed to do. So let me show you here her fake court orders. Again, these are all made by the employees in there, by the way, and they again support proceeding. Now I'm a divorced man. I have a divorce agreement. Everybody, New York State Constitution, Article 6, Section 13, Sub B, Subsection 4. And I have it memorized. Basically, family court has jurisdiction in support of dependents except in New York State divorces, because you can remember child support is a federal law. It's an interstate federal law. Now, if you live in New York State, what the hell are you doing in family court if you're getting divorced? You're not supposed to be there. Only unless you're receiving public assistance. But again, if you're getting divorced, you're not supposed to be in family court. So it says support of dependents except in matters incidental to divorce, separation, stuff like that. So right then and there, they have no jurisdiction. Now, they're supposed to know this because they're under CPLR 4511. They're supposed to take notice, judicial notice of the law, but they never do. You have to. It's like you walk in there. It's like you have no rights. Meanwhile, you do. You don't have to utter a word. You're covered. Now, here, this isn't bullshit. and the whole scam is when they get you to go there, they have to get your information, so they trick you. Now, under the United States Constitution, Amendment 4, you don't have to give up any information. You don't, and Amendment 5, you don't have to give testimony against yourself. So what they do is they get you to put all your information on all this paperwork. So they say this is what you must bring. So next thing you know, you're giving them your Social Security number. Once they got your Social Security number, you're done. It's over. Goodbye. It's over. Because in my other videos, I point out, like in my matter, I work for a living and I get a pension, and all these state agencies cooperate with each other. So that's the battle I'm having right now. But let me get back to this. Now, look, Sudeep Kaur, enter. There's no. You see anybody see a clerk's signature anywhere? No. And I go to the Queens County Clerk's office. There's no copy of this. And also, Family Court Act 460 says all orders from Family Court must be entered with the clerk of the county in which the hearing commenced. There, I went to. I have a video, on where I went to see a woman, and she couldn't find any money judgments against me, and I have a copy. So this is just proof that family court is a scam. Do not go. I'm going to tell everybody, if you ever get one of those bullshit summonses from them, and again, summons is a fancy word for invitation. That's really what it means. All right, I had a guy reached out to me over the weekend, and he sent me. They sent him the same thing as this thing here. He lives in Tennessee, New York, so they're trying to increase his child support. The guy's paying $170 a week. So remember, New York State gets 66% of that. So they want more money. So he got basically one of these things, and I looked at it, and at the bottom of it, it said a docket number was filed in the clerk, and it was bullshit. It doesn't exist. But they're trying to scare the guy, and he was scared. He's all stressed out. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I was pretty messed up with this. I got messed up only because it's a scam, and you got nobody to go to. You become hopeless because everybody's in on it. Like I tried to go to a couple of lawyers. I went to this one lawyer. He's like the biggest lawyer in New York City. He represents all the famous people. And 3 years ago, I don't pull any punches in my motions. I call it like it is. And they saw my paperwork, and I called it straight out. I'm like, these are forgeries. It's fake. She needs to be arrested. And they were kissing my ass. And they were going to take my case because they always charge 20 grand, but for 15. But it turns out that the lawyer was a part of the bar association. So like the first thing he says to me is, well, the first thing you have to start doing is you got to stop writing these complaints. And that's when I knew it was bullshit, because they were kissing my ass too, because they weren't arguing with me. They weren't saying, well, you're wrong. These are court orders. They weren't saying anything. They were kissing my ass. And they were willing to take my case with 15 grand instead of 20 grand. Now, back then I had money. I just wanted to get this thing over. But they wouldn't. And after reading all my paperwork, I'm like, well, you're going to let me have a say in this, right? Well, no, you can't. I go, well, then this is going to be over, right? I mean, you've seen everything here. You see there's no change of circumstances, whatever. Excuse me. And they wouldn't give me an answer. So I think they were setting me up to screw me. But so I didn't give them the money. I mean, in the hindsight, I wish I had, because this thing would probably be over, but I would have got screwed. But, I'm not going to give up. I'm not going anywhere. And just to show you guys, I'm making other videos, but I filed a federal lawsuit against Sudeep Kaur and Judge Lubeau. He wasn't there. And the woman, Judge Lubeau, dismissed my objection because I sent the affidavit of notification to the wrong address, she claims. And meanwhile, the lawyer has 3 different addresses on his website. But this shows you the length of which they'll go. And she goes, well, even if I didn't dismiss it, I would have dismissed it for this reason. But I'm dismissing it for that reason. I mean, it's just comedy, because they can't do anything. But anyway, I'm gonna shut this down for this video. But remember, Queens Family Court is fake. You ever get summoned to go there, especially if you're a married man in New York State, just throw it in the garbage. Don't even go, because once they, it's like the vampires. Once you invite them in, it's you can't get rid of them. All right, take it easy, everybody. Oh, here's my lawsuit, real fast. that got dismissed because they're claiming these court orders that I call forgeries from the beginning are state judgments when they're not. They're administrative orders, and they're not recorded anywhere. So there's a thing called the Rooker-Feldman doctrine. It's every time a state gets sued for civil rights violations in family court, they cite that and the judges dismiss it. It's like it's like a standard thing. Except I got them where I'm not going to accept it. I'm actually going to be going to court this week on that, on my own, and I'll let you guys know what's going on with that. Bye.